Welcome to my channel. This is a reading for the month of January 2021 for the sign of Cancer. So thank you to all my new subscribers, and many thanks for the continued support of all those who do follow me as my existing subscribers. Your support does give me that momentum to keep putting out the videos. So I know I'm not always as diligent every month, but doing my best. So of course, just that reminder, these are general readings, can't apply across the globe to every age bracket at the same time, so please take the elements that apply to you in the ways that might help you to advance forward. If it doesn't resonate this month, energies are always shifting, so just check back in February. Sorry, so Happy New Year to everybody, and we did weather through 2020, and hopefully everybody is safe and gained a lot of strength and resilience out of that year. And onward and upward, as they say. So, on that note, your first card out from the Sharina Star deck, Illustrations by Richard Crooks, starts off with the Goals card. So, goals is progress is positive, and personal goals will be achieved. What I felt for most of you is, or for a lot of you, is that it looks like you're really beginning to prepare for some kind of plan of action in January. I feel there's a lot of you that are still in the beginning stages of thought about something that you're trying to act on, but you may have done some explorations around it, but there's not really a lot of action that's been implemented at this stage. I don't feel it's something that's just straight idea. I think that you might have been preparing in small ways, but I still feel that your goal is something that'll be attainable as we advance through the year. So in terms of getting it off the ground, there is some kind of a wait or delay. Something is in the way of its execution for the month of January. But I think that, anytime there's a delay of some sort, it's because usually there is something else coming in. And for you, I feel that is the case. And that will be because something else is going to advance you along or help you in a more practical way to put more of the pieces into the elements that you're practically trying to plan with. So anyway, there is a sense, as I say, that there's some crucial elements that are missing is what I'm getting at. So it's more along a practical sense, and that there is some kind of a delay that's coming through. So, whatever that is for you, maybe there isn't enough money to have it start up yet. Maybe you don't have, you're not able to execute on that next action because there's a holdup with paperwork or, some other formality, whatever that is for you. I do feel that this month is really that you're doing a lot of soul searching. I feel that you're really in a place where you're trying to regain control over your life in the month of January. I feel that there's some sense of boredom or anxiety or some kind of a restless nature that is sort of plaguing you for this month. It may be that you're harboring some, secret feelings or secrets at this time, and it might be around your plans as well. I still feel that you're in a place in January for strategizing as to how you're going to execute things, and it could even be that maybe the plan is requiring some kind of a sacrifice that you're not really quite prepared to make at this time. So again, in terms of relationship goals with the goals card, for a lot of you there are some doors closing because there's a new level that you're moving into that requires you to rid yourself of negative thinking or anxiety or relationships that might have drained you or held you back in some way. So, that can relate across the board to friendships or family or romantic relationships, whatever that dynamic is for you. So, but there is some kind of new connection on the horizon that's coming in that will be financially advantageous to you for this month. Again, I don't feel like all of a sudden something's taking off in January, but something about this connection to that person is going to play out over the course of, the advancing months here. But the meeting of that person in this month is going to either help to boost your self-confidence or your self-esteem in some way. It might be that they're giving you advice, but I feel it's important that you take their advice. You use it to your advantage. You need to have it work for you in some way, or that whether you see that or not, something that they say will help you to advance forward. So again, some of you may be able to bring about something that is very unique to you this month. And again, maybe that's an epiphany or an inspiration or something that comes through that is helping you to stand apart from others. So there's something very unique that I just feel is it's only something that you can really bring forward But overall, this is a time for planning this month and breaking away from that form of stagnancy. And I say that because with the plane card, that's exactly what that card really represents. I mean, ultimately looking at the definition is that it is a journey is indicated either physically or metaphorically, and your life will become more full. But I feel for you, I mean, some of you might very well be taking or planning a trip. I realize that we are still under a lot of quarantine and pandemic in various parts of the world, so there's less freedoms, but it might be a short journey, or maybe again, it's something regarding a plan of action toward that that step to travel. But it didn't really feel for a lot of you that that was what the card was really directing you toward. It felt that it was more along the lines, metaphorically, that you were in a place of stagnancy, and the card to me felt that you wanted to escape that monotony. So to me, it's a card of stepping up and making some effort toward the steps to take control over your life. And I felt for you this month, it's more about the planning and the details, and actually structuring out your life in some way so that it's aligning with the goals that you want. Maybe it's planning the day-to-day structure of things, so you know what's going to be happening for the next 30 days or the next 3 years or the next 5-year plan or the 10-year plan, whatever it is for you. But there's some kind of incremental changes that are taking place in the month of January for you to start changing your priorities and orienting things around your goal setting. So again, you're thinking outside of the box, getting ready to take this leap of faith in a new direction. You're doing some self-discovery for sure about who you are and what you want out of life, and it is a card that brings through imminent solutions. So, and there's also cards, of course, with the moon that will follow through, and I have pre-pulled just because it's a little easier for me to go through the reading this way. But the moon card is going to follow here with the plane, and to me that's really your strong intuition that you're relying on to help you get through. So as I mentioned, the moon card, pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently. So again, I felt that there's somebody coming through, teacher or guide or something that's going to instruct you or educate you or empower you to to feel more confident in going after your goals. So somebody is influencing you on some level, pointing you in the right direction. There is also sort of a feel that there might be a new relationship or new connection outside of that work career kind of connection as well. But anyway, there's a lot of new elements that are coming through here. And you're definitely finishing up with some old cycles. But anyway, staying on target here with the moon card. Again, I feel that there's some nudgings, promptings, things that are coming through in terms of a gut feeling about where to go, what's your next step. Something might be signaling through a dream for you, or a trigger through an advertisement or something on television, whatever it is for you. But it's something that's going to sort of seep into your consciousness, and something you'll want to explore. But it is going to bring you toward a solution regardless. Some kind of an insight. So anything that you were challenged with through this month will allow you to feel more ease at this time than any other time previously, because you're getting more insight. In terms of relationships, there again with the moon card, this may be a friend, because this card does represent with more generally, the moon card represents with sometimes secrets or things not being known, or anxieties or unresolved shadow sides or parts of ourself that have yet to be worked through. But I feel, because this is so close to the card of communication, that there is also some reference to a friendship or a family alliance or a business acquaintance or lover or something like that, however that relates to you, that's just not, something's not fully revealed to you about that person, or maybe you're just operating, in a bit of a mystery. So something's operating behind the scenes. There's just some elements that are just not fully realized yet for you to be able to understand how something is going to influence you anyway in the month of January. But there is something around, again, some kind of a relationship or a connection, that something still has to be revealed here in the month of January. But again, the card is about new beginnings here with the moon, and it's ideal for entering into new relationships. And maybe that's where the mystery lay, because you're just not sure of, what you're looking at and how that person, would be an alliance or support you in these new ventures in business. Simply because, it's a time of a lot of unknowns, and you're also at a point in the month of January where you're finishing up cycles. There's lots of cards that pull through as nines, and so you're finishing up a cycle and ready to move on. You're just not quite there yet, but you are preparing for that. You're still in the process of acting on and working through some of those elements. So again, the moon sort of revolves around that inner work as well. But we, just in addition to this particular deck's interpretation of the moon, it does have a positive meaning in terms of your health. So if you were worried about that, especially during these times where things are a little compromised for a lot of people, or exposure is a very real element in terms of our health. I would say that, overall, not that you're untouchable, but certainly that you're feeling far stronger at this time, where you're starting to feel better overall in terms of your health and your energy. So it's also, again, creative, fresh energies or ideas that are coming into the immediate future here, or immediate present rather. And this is a time where you're going to start to see opportunities, so that allows you to move ahead confidently. So again, you're just getting a touch of these little moments of inspiration and knowing where to move ahead to act. So again, the card of communication, numerology cards by Michelle Buchanan, is all about finding your voice. So, you're really in a reflective period, because the Hermit card is also in amongst the cards here, and that really speaks to much of the same. It's really a part of your inner work with the, working through some of the shadow work and the parts of yourself, what it is that you want. You're just trying to discover a lot of your own, understand yourself and your soul, period. I don't even want to say what your soul's calling is yet, because it's not really where I feel we're at. I feel for you, you're just trying to understand yourself better so that you can move forward in a stronger, more confident, empowered way. So again, I feel for the month of January, the card of communication is all about finding your voice. Know what you stand for. What do you believe? What do you value? And this is where some of you might be writing it, singing it, drawing it, expressing yourself in some way. Doesn't always have to be a verbal communication, but it is really about composing your thoughts and speaking your truth, or speaking your wisdom. But it's also about, what might need to be said to others so that you get your needs met. So instead of having other people try to figure you out and understand you, I feel this is really a call for you to say, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I need from you. And so I feel that most of you have really been holding back on expressing yourself in some way, and I feel that you need to be a little more forthright in clarifying, so that people, have a better understanding, not about, all of your core and all of your truths, but what it is that you want from them. So again, being more specific about what it is that you want from them. So the next card out is about manifestation. So definitely a really powerful time for you. As I said, you're doing a lot of inner work here for the month of January. So manifestation is really clarifying your own needs, so that you can again communicate what you're really after from your relationships. And again, if you're unsure about where to start, or what that would look like in manifesting those processes, it's really about paying closer attention to the things that worry you. So what are your fears? What do you focus on? What is your first thought when you feel upset? Because those are all things that help you to identify, are they self-esteem issues? Is it really about another person? Or is this something that, if you were to change it within you, would allow for a different outcome with another person? So rather than waiting for someone to fill your cup, so to speak, or to fill a need that you have, you really have to do it for yourself first. But you can certainly say, I value communication, or I value, people that are there for me. So then you have to define what it is, what it is that you mean by someone being there for you, because one person's interpretation of being there for you might be just on the other end of the phone saying, hi, I support you, I'm listening to what you have to say. And you might be actually saying that you want someone to be there in a more physical way, or in a more active way. So again, you really just want to be clearly defining what it is that you really want from another person. It's different from an expectation as well, because an expectation is something that really is outside of you. So you don't want to expect something from another person. You just want to have it clear from the beginning or from the onset what it is that you're expecting, or I shouldn't say expecting, but asking for of someone. Because when you have an expectation, it's usually going to fall short. So when you say, I'd like you to be there when I get home, or something like that, you have to have some flexibility, because if the other person has other responsibilities, you can't say, well, you weren't there. You weren't there for me. Like, you can't be so tightly attached to the expectation that that the person will fall short, simply because of the nature of, human responsibility and other things. So I'm just using that as I'm really bad at examples, but that's just, one little possibility of how to clarify. So anyway, manifestation, really powerful time for you to make things come to the forefront and make some changes in your life. So again, what would complement your set of beliefs, your set of values, or for you to feel close to another person? So again, if you look at your fears and the things that worry you, are you afraid to be alone? So you can't expect somebody else to be entirely there for you at all times. You have to rely on yourself. But you can say, what really is most important to me is that we eat dinner together, or whatever it is for you. So again, some flexibility, but still being clear on what it is that you expect in more precise ways. So the next card out is about healing. And the healing card is, obviously, as I mentioned, I felt that a lot of you were in the hermit mode. So there's definitely healing that is taking place in January, a lot of internal work. So healing is about allowing yourself to expand, heal others, or allow others to heal, or allow others rather allow them in to help you heal your internal world. A lot of times we can't identify a lot of our own blockages, and sometimes it does take another person to create some pain in our world to identify an area that we need to have healed. So this again comes back to communicate what you're not receiving, and encourage a reciprocal relationship where you try to understand another, enable for another to understand you. So again, this is a critical time for others for others of you to invest in yourselves more so, but also by investing in yourself, you're speaking well of yourself. So you really have to be your own friend. You have to be your own support system. Considering your inner child, as they say, it's that wounded, vulnerable part of yourself that might have been suppressed and still had to act, and keep moving and get things done. So it gets avoided. That need becomes was never met, and so maybe it caused a lot of anxiety in you because you didn't feel that a lot of your needs were met. A lot of people weren't there for you when you needed them. So more anxiety starts to build. But again, it's about you understanding you and accepting you as you are, unconditionally. And I know that sounds a little, broad in the terms, but what I'm really saying here is, you're looking at yourself without judgment. So you're just accepting that you're on a part of a journey, and able to understand you have to know that your strength, what you thought is strength, not communicating, not showing any reaction, for example, is really covering up for more of a weakness. So understand that to know strength, you have to understand weakness. So in other words, the universe puts you in positions where you're reversing the armor, so to speak. So what is weak is your strength, and what you consider strong is the empty shell that needs to be refit. So again, if you're somebody that is not so much in touch with a lot of your emotional states, and you present as very in control, that becomes the weakness, and the strength is in refitting the armor so that it is, showing more understanding and compassion to yourself, and that it's okay to feel the feelings and walk with it. Feeling the feelings means, just allowing it to flow through you without actually attaching thoughts and, judgment and all kinds of other conditional types of restriction around the emotion. So the next card out is the Thinking Man. And this is again about a teacher or someone that's new entering your life this month. So again, this person might be there to educate you or aid you in a decision or help to empower you, assist you spiritually, mentally, physically, or just in some way that serves to move you in the direction of advancing yourself personally or professionally. Or it could be both. But the next card out, and that's why I said maybe there was more of a love interest or something that's also coming through here too, because we have woman holding a heart. Or maybe it's just someone showing more compassion to you, that is helping you to resolve something. Again, this is also a card that represents, just overall disputes resolving, certainly around family or, you know, other relationships, friendships, that kind of thing. But it could also represent a female friend that is a teacher or a confidant. Could even be a new love that's coming your way. But I just didn't feel that you're quite in that position just yet because you're doing so much inner work that I don't know that you're quite ready for it yet. But we do have cornucopia, and this is about your heart healing on some level. So a job could be coming through for some of you. Some balance is restored here. There's money in your pockets this month. Although I don't feel it's big payouts or anything. I feel you're just doing some repetitive work and it's meeting your needs. But there is some action as well that you've taken in the past that can be paying off for you soon. I'm not saying within a week or two. I think it is, again, it's something that's going to pay off over the course of, some continued persistent effort. But I just feel that, and again, somebody else is going to come through to assist on this level to advance you forward. So it could also be for some of you that you're going to hear from someone or hear about something that you've planted seeds before in those previous months. And something, again, just showing promise here overall. So there is a need for you to still have some patience around this cornucopia card, because of course that follows. So again, you're still waiting, I feel, for some of you on some more clarity about what you're about to do or receive. This isn't really a time for you to force any outcome. It's about expansion. So just letting things unfold for this month, releasing any sense of desperation and urgency, and just continuing to take, steady steps toward the goal. Or again, in healing, whatever those goals that you've set for yourself, and structuring out things so that you've got more information. Because as I said, there's a lot of cards here where you're having to do so much inner work that it has to manifest in some way towards something. So there is a strategy that you're implementing here. So the strategy card, again, is creating a plan to support your goals. Consider the things that you need to change, bad habits that you need to get rid of, negative thinking that you've been relying on, circular thinking that's kept you stuck. You're really putting more attention to the details in structuring out your day. That's really what the card is calling for. I did actually, just to clarify on a few of these cards, I did pull some cards toward the end. I didn't include them in this combination of cards just because it just felt it would be too many. But there were a few other cards that also were pulled from the Rider-Waite deck that were just help expand or expound on some of the elements that you needed to do around your finances. And again, they still came through with, the Eight of Pentacles, and still having to put in the work and attention to detail and all of that. And I also had another deck that I referenced, and again, just didn't want to have too many cards out on this one, but this was for the Kim Kranz deck with the Wild Unknown Tarot, and that came through with cards of the Emperor, going after control of your life. I'll just pull them forward anyway, I guess, but the Emperor, which was trying to take back some control in your life. Might be a little more stoic, as I said, at this time with the Hermit energy. And certainly there was there's some devil energy here, which to me is just speaking to a lot of negative thinking that you're still trying to break free from. But I feel you're getting that enlightenment because it was followed by the Tower and certainly the Ace of Wands. So there is some kind of a breakthrough and some kind of inspiration that is allowing you to, move past some difficult moments with the Eight of Cups. So you're really starting to move ahead. There's definite action and for sure a form of breakthrough, because there's also the Hierophant energy. So there's just lots of cards of soul work, a lot of internal shadow work is what I want to say. The other, well, okay, there is also the card of the Nine of Pentacles here. And again, to me, that does show that you're feeling a real independent energy. I'm not talking in terms of money or anything at this point, but I just feel that you're just feeling a little more singular in this journey. You're not really feeling super connected to everybody, even though the next card is showing up as partnerships and alliances. Again, that's people coming in. It's not really where I see you at in the month of January. I feel that you're feeling very solitary. So this is, of course, the Psychic Tarot deck by John Holland. It's all about connection, expansion, advancement, change, uncertainty, and finishing up an old you to embrace a transition to a new sense of self. So it's a more empowered self and a new empowered direction that you're really heading towards. And what I referenced there about the connection and expansion and advancement and change is really, looking at the numbers here. We've got the 3, we've got the 5, we've also got a couple of 9s in there as well. So this is really what those terms relate to. There is, again, finishing up with an old cycle here with the 9s. But partnerships and alliances is about, or speaks to, opportunities still coming in. So in other words, you're going to hear about some possibilities. You're going to be inspired to possibly take some action or choose to see them as something that you feel you can build on. But either way, your choice, take them, act on them, or, build on it. So it's, again, somehow related to the form of unexpected alliances that are coming through. I suspect for many of you. Others, it may be operating in your favor by pointing out resources for you to check out in your pursuits, or it may be that you're being helped with the creation of something new. So again, in terms of relationships, in terms of relationships, because it is so close to wisdom, and 5s are certainly usually about a struggle, I feel that there is some sense of an imbalance where one person might be giving more than another for others of you. But wisdom in itself is still about, going inward, and I still feel for the majority of you, someone is going to be coming through that relates around a teacher for you. So again, wisdom is about the teacher appearing when the student is ready, some kind of a mentor or a guide that's going to help you through the process of attaining your goals, whether that's a relationship goal or a career goal, whatever that is for you. So whether there's some kind of formal education involved here, again, that could be where the instruction is coming in. Again, it could be a new job of some sort here too, or breakthrough on some spiritual front. But it's someone who ultimately is inspiring the path before you. So there's some kind of a kindred connection, somewhere where you have a similar thinking that's going on between you and another that is moving you ahead this month. So the next card out, again, is solitude. Lots of inner work going on for this month. You're going within for answers. You're conserving your energy to connect to your soul so that you can recharge and discover where you need to direct your focused energy so that you can learn and grow and expand. And this is where you're pulling back to deal with things one thing at a time. So again, Solitude is that period of reflection, and of course suffering in silence. Like, I feel a lot of you really do feel very much alone in the month of January here. And self-imposed suffering, all of that sort of falls into that category as well. But it's still a period of reflection, suffering after something you feel you've endured, whether it's your own thoughts or like self-imposed ideas of how you think you should have been, or how things are turning out externally around you. But you're moving away from that victim mentality, and you're letting go of this worry and this despair and this this stagnant place, and you're finding a more positive path. So you're breaking through some of your fears, maybe not all of them this month, but you're breaking through some of your fears, and you're tapping into some courage here, because again, it leads to a brilliant idea. And again, as I mentioned before with the other deck, we had the card of the Ace of Wands. So again, there was that breakthrough moment here as well with the Ace of Wands. So you're really feeling ignited and re-inspired. So some kind of brilliant idea is coming to you, and you're about to take some action on it, but you're finishing up a cycle, which is where you're going inward, and you're working through something so that you can move towards your dreams. So the brilliant idea also comes through. For sure, it's spiritually motivated. Divine is coming in to assist you, bringing the energy so that you actually have more energy to take that action. But it's allowing you to see a glimpse of the road ahead. So whether that comes to you through your dreams, whether or not somebody is talking about something that is appealing to you, and then you just feel much more inspired, like, yeah, that's a great idea, I could do that. And then you just start, kind of going off with the expansion of that thought. But again, a little bit of inspiration probably toward the end of the month here. Clairvoyance is, the card is about helping your spiritual sight to awaken fully so that you can clearly see, as the card puts it, it depicts it as heavenly love. So again, whatever that divine spirit feels like for you, it could be, someone who's passed that's very close to you, that's trying to aid you in some way. But I just feel that you're really breaking through a period of difficulty, and you're finding you're just finding the road ahead through a lot of that introspective thought. So again, where we had the moon cycles releasing blockages, we've got clairvoyance as well as the moon cycles, double card here again. But we also have clairsentience. So the fact that you have the moon cycles again repeated, there's definitely some blockages that you're getting through, I feel, by tapping into your surroundings, your physical surroundings, and starting to really interact with your emotional thoughts. I feel that you're getting in touch with those deep feelings. You're letting things flow through. You're not attaching, again, the thoughts, the meanings, or definitions to those feelings. You're translating your fears, and you're realizing the way through them is on the other side of them. So if you have a fear about failure, then you have to actually challenge it to be able to see what you're really made of, and realize that you are capable. You wouldn't have the thought if you actually weren't capable of it. You